Explore the mystical side of life in a multi-dimensional way. Welcome to Integrative Mystic with Anne Vivian.
Hello and welcome to Integrative Mystic. My name is Anne Vivian, and this is the show where we explore the mystical side of life in a multidimensional way. I am a clairvoyant, visionary, artist, coach, counselor, and writer. If you'd like to find out more about me, please visit creativepsychestudio.com. So in today's show, let's have some fun with our intuition. Let's learn how to create a more joyful life, letting our sixth sense be our guide. In today's show, I'm going to talk about how to tap into your intuition in some fun ways. I am going to share a message from an animal spirit helper to help us with this. And I'm going to tap into the collective energy and pull some tarot and oracle cards for the week ahead. As you might have noticed, I'm playing around with the order of these pieces of the show, and I'm having fun with Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde is all about mixing it up. So that's what I'm doing. Quick announcements. If you'd like a mini reading with me, I'm going to be at the Red Barn Psychic Fair, May 22nd. And if you would like to join our dream community, come join our dream circle. I run a monthly dream circle at the Red Barn, also in Durham, Connecticut. And it's happening this May 28th. It's happening this month at the end of the month, May 28th. And also our multidimensional manifesting group is happening there. And I run these groups every month. So come manifest with me, come dream with me, come join our community. And details are on my website and my Facebook page. I also just want to remind you, I have made a tarot messages by sign video for May. So I pull tarot messages and tune into the energy of each zodiac sign. For usually most months I do this. So I did this for the month of May 2022. And that's on my YouTube channel, Creative Psyche Studio. If you want to check that out, check out the energy for your sign this May. And stay tuned to Integrative Mystic. I'm so excited about this show. I'm so excited about being here on mindbodyspirit.fm and joining these fantastic other hosts. They are inspiring me and giving me lots of collegial energy and motivation to make my show the best it can be. So I'm really excited to be here on this podcast network. And all of my shows from Unity, I started the Integrative Mystic series a few weeks ago. So this is number 7. This is episode number 7. But all of the previous ones from Unity are on mindbodyspirit.fm. So check it out. And please stay tuned. I'm going to have some amazing guests on my show in the near and far future. I'm going to have some great astrologers, mediums, crystal healer, Ayurvedic healer, authors, metaphysical leaders, and healers are going to be coming on my show. I can't wait to tell you more, so stay tuned. So I'd like to invite you in, my love. I'd like to invite you in, my friend. Take a deep breath. Feel your heart space. Ground yourself. Center. We're stepping into the in-between realm. We're in between this world and the spirit world, the astral planes, the expanded planes that interpenetrate this one. It's all one multidimensional consciousness. And here we are, we're in the sacred space in between worlds. And I want to remind you that you can listen to this as a podcast. You can listen to it directly on the mindbodyspirit.fm website. You can find me on iTunes, Google, Spotify, and don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to leave a review. So let's get to it for today. Last show, we explored earth wisdom as a way to connect with the mystical. We are going to continue to explore doorways for accessing the mystical in our lives with a show today on intuition. And so let's have some fun with our intuition, folks. Let's open up this doorway. It's another important way to be an integrative mystic, recognizing and synthesizing and integrating our intuition. We all have a sixth sense. We all have an intuition. And it's so important to integrate this into our psyche and into our lives. It's really the most powerful navigation tool we have access to. It's our direct line to source, to spirit, to divine consciousness. And it's not supernatural. It's natural. In the modern Western world, in our modern Western culture, there has been an overemphasis on logic, and there's been an overemphasis on what can be seen. And this has been part of our evolution as a culture. But it's important to recognize that intuition is something that hasn't been legitimized. It's been brushed aside as foolish in a lot of circles and a lot of dimensions of this society. And the truth is, the most innovative humans have used their intuition. Einstein used his intuition. Edison would enter altered states to access his intuition. He'd take little cat naps. Other inventors and artists and scientists have talked about accessing this higher consciousness through dreams, through visions, and recognizing that their intuition is a huge part of their genius, of their innovations, of their creativity. In psychology and learning theories, cognitive or sensory learning process theories, there are ideas about intuition on a more cognitive level, ideas about the intuitive function is really that part of your mind, that unconscious part of your mind, that unconscious awareness that's putting sensory information together without your awareness of it, and putting the pieces together your conscious mind might miss together to have a greater holistic understanding. Now, I believe this is truly part of intuition. And if that's what you believe intuition is, then it's totally legit. I also believe that there are things that science does not understand, and that our tools for understanding the human mind are not capable of seeing and recognizing. And this is the mystical realm. This is the spirituality in the spiritual realm. And there is a part of intuition that is beyond sensory processing, understanding, in my opinion. But I do think they overlap. And, in the end, does it really matter if you believe intuition is coming from something mystical, some other spiritual dimension, or you believe it is part of cognitive processing, or you believe both, like me? But we need to do some reprogramming, or even intergenerational reprogramming, or clearing of our old beliefs about it, and releasing these unhelpful, outdated, destructive religious dogmas or overly logical paradigms that dismiss intuition, and the ones that dismiss mystical experiences. More and more people, an amazing amount of people, are waking up and having mystical experiences, psychic experiences, out-of-body experiences. And more people are waking up to how the mystical is just as real as the logical. It is all part of consciousness, and understanding more and more we are not alone. This is a multidimensional reality we live in. There are more entities and energies and beings than the ones we can see, the ones that we're aware of. In Jungian psychoanalytic approaches and theories, based on the work of Carl Gustav Jung, a Swiss psychiatrist, there are four basic psychological functions: thinking, sensing, feeling, and intuiting. And Jung talked about intuition as an important psychological function and began to bring some legitimacy and credence to talking about intuition as something we should pay attention to, something real, something that is actually even helpful, and how it's a natural psychological function. And he suggested that we all have a dominant psychological function and a weaker one, the weakest one, if you will. And so some people have a naturally more developed intuitive function, but they're all important, and it's important to balance them. Jung's colleague, Robert Assagioli, who created psychosynthesis, agreed with Jung's theory about these four major functions, and then he added will and imagination. So there's 6 psychological functions. So recognizing that intuition is one of the parts of our consciousness, and there are many, and bringing that into psychoanalytic theory and practice, bringing that into psychosynthesis is a transpersonal psychology. So bringing that into transpersonal psychology and psychology, and exploring the overlaps with that and spirituality, exploring the overlaps with mystical experiences. Jung did talk a lot about mystical experiences and was a genius at finding a way to talk about this in a way that was accepted by the psychiatric community and psychology community. And Assagioli as well with psychosynthesis had some great ways of presenting these ideas that we can have these expanded parts of our consciousness. We can know without knowing how we know. We can connect with each other in this mystical way that is beyond logical understanding, and using some paradigms and wordage that really helps tie it to academia and, like I said, the psychiatric, the psychological community. So there is an expansion in our modern Western world of understanding the importance of intuition. And I want to be part of the movement to help educate people, help inspire people, help set people on fire to connect with and benefit from their sixth sense. Everybody has it. And it's one of my passions to see people begin to use it. When I do intuitive development classes, I absolutely love, I get so psyched. I get so fired up to see my students realize they're intuitive, realize this happened last integrative intuition intensive series I did. I had some students realize they were intuitive and getting intuitions in ways they weren't even necessarily realizing. So you probably are too. Are you aware that you're already tuning into your intuition, my friend? How do you most often get hunches? I want to ask you. How do you most often get intuitions? Take a deep breath. Think about right now how you have been aware of something recently or whenever without knowing how you knew. How did that knowing come to you? It may help you to understand how to work with your intuition if you can identify your main psychic senses or channels. So to name a few, it might be dreams. It might be the in-between spaces when you're just getting up or when you're falling asleep when you get intuitions. It might be in your actual dreams. Your body sensations, gut feeling. Do you have sensations in your ears, your chest, any kind of body sensations? Do you have just a knowing? You just know. You don't know how you know, you just know. Do you get images or visions? Do you hear words or hear songs or hear sentences? Do you feel emotions that are perhaps other people's emotions? You're empathically aware intuitively. Do you get intuitive thoughts? Perhaps you can see a plan or your strategies sometimes reflect an intuitive knowing? For your imagination or creative activities, do you feel more in touch with your intuition? Do you get intuitions when you're in nature or when you meditate? Or perhaps something I haven't listed. Intuition does create a more joyful life. If you pay attention to it, it can guide you to the right people, situations, and information in alignment with your true heart's desires. You can program your intuition to guide you to these situations and program your intuition to guide you to make decisions that will bring you more joy, to guide you to the people, places, and circumstances that will bring you more joy. You can program your intuition to bring you things that will make you laugh. Your intuition can be your navigation tool in life, and it can help to lead you towards what is good for you, towards greater fulfillment. So let's have some fun with intuition. One of the fun ways to begin experimenting with intuition, or if you're already really intuitive, this can also be an advanced intuitive tool that's pretty fun. It's the psychic journal or intuitive journal. I teach this to all of my students, and I have used it myself. It really helped me to open up my sixth sense. When I was in college, I used it very intensely, and I had a huge awakening. It really helped me take my gift, which is a gift we all have, to the next level. So it's a great tool to begin to understand how you get intuitions and to tell the difference between wishful thinking, anxiety, and true intuition. But it's fun. I'm listing it here in this show as a fun tool because it's fun to just write down when you think you're getting a hunch, when you think you're getting an intuition, and it's fun to allow your imagination to have a little bit of leeway and to give yourself permission to just have fun and get it wrong. And only you're going to see the psychic journal. And you begin to open up to this amazing mystical part of yourself. And it's going to show you, if you keep this psychic journal, that you're more intuitive than you realize. And basically what it entails is you writing down on a daily or weekly basis any kind of intuition, any kind of anything that you think might be an intuition, any kind of vision or thought, or any of the things I just named, dreams or feelings or words or just knowings, anything that you get that you think might be an intuition, you record it in this journal, and then you go back periodically and see which ones were hits. You'll be surprised how many hits you get, and you'll be surprised as well. Sometimes it takes weeks, months, years for intuitions to unfold and for you to get that quote unquote proof. But it is really fun. And so I encourage you to do that. It's a natural way to tap into this natural expanded part of our consciousness that is really a direct connection to your higher self, to source, and can be powerful guidance for you as you learn how to tap into it. You're going to learn more as you use the psychic journal, what an intuition feels like in your body, what are the details surrounding when you get an accurate intuition. You might notice you get certain body sensations, or if you get like images that are intuitive messages coming through, they might seem different. I know if I just get an image in my head randomly, that it's probably an intuition, like purple butterflies. Why all of a sudden am I thinking about purple butterflies? I have not seen a butterfly lately. I don't recall seeing many purple butterflies in my life. I bet this is my intuition speaking to me. So, but I know that because I've worked with my intuition and recorded images and experimented to understand when I'm getting an image, if it feels like an intuitive image versus just my mind thinking. So play around with your psychic journal. Another fun activity to expand your intuition is when you first wake up, and this is a natural time when you're still connected with the dream world, when you're still connected with your unconscious, which is a doorway to your intuition. In these first few moments after you wake up, just set your intention to tune into your intuition and ask ask your intuition to give you some guidance for the day. This is a great time to record something in your psychic journal, but do this and notice what words, images, feelings come up. And you might notice then what happens during your day. You can also, another fun exercise, if you're waiting for the elevator, see if you can intuit which one will ding first, which one will arrive first. If you never go into buildings with elevators, or it's very rare, perhaps you drive. If you drive, you can have fun too. You can play a little game with yourself. See if you can intuit what the cars are going to do in front of you, beside you, which car is going to move first. And you can play with these fun little intuitive exercises. If you have a cell phone with just one ring instead of specific rings for specific people, you can, if it rings, try and intuit who's calling you without looking at it. And trying little fun things like this, it can help you have fun with your intuition, kind of shift the energy around it to make it more playful and natural. And it creates it, it integrates it into part of your life. Speaking of integrative intuition, how can we integrate this in? Well, it's really a daily practice, not making it some weird supernatural heebie-jeebie thing, but creating a practice in which you're naturally, routinely tuning into your intuition. It can help open the doorway so you're naturally getting more intuitions, and it can help to create a relationship with that part of your psyche that opens up the doorways for more of a natural flow, and it can be more integrated into your personality and your routine. And another way to ground your intuition and to integrate it is to take action on your intuitions. If you get an intuition that, you should go to the grocery store today and get some apples, I don't know, you should go to that lecture, you should take that class, or that this person isn't good for you. You might want to reflect on if it's a major decision. But one way to ground your intuitions and to integrate them is to begin to take actions that feel balanced and comfortable and appropriate. And so you might want to start small. What am I inspired to do today? What is my intuition guiding me to do? And maybe it's something really small. You might just have an intuition to go to a certain website or pick up a certain local holistic periodical. So follow through on, if you get an intuition that feels like a small step that feels balanced, and let it inform your actions. Let it inform the logical part of your mind. Allow it to be part of your decision-making process. And, writing down your intuitions is another great way to integrate them. It helps to ground them. It helps to make them more real. It helps you to assess them. So now that your analytical mind can look at it and begin to process it. So it helps you to balance and integrate it, to bring it into your life in a physical way, in an action way, and act on it when it feels right, when it feels comfortable, when you're feeling trusting enough. Take that leap and trust that divine guidance coming through with the intuition. Next up, we are going to explore the spirit helper of the week, who has flown into our show today, into our podcast today. So please stick around and we will explore this lovely spirit helper of the week. Spirit helper of the week on integrative intuition. This week's spirit helper, and this is really for this week and this particular show, because this spirit helper is helping us to expand our intuition. And that spirit helper is Bat. Yes, the mystical, dark, mysterious bat spirit animal has flown into our show. I love bats, and I feel like bats are a bit of an underdog. People often get grossed out and freaked out by bats. But you know, I always like to remind people, do you know how many mosquitoes bats eat? They eat a huge amount of mosquitoes. And so they're just pretty important baseline with that, right? Also, they're a divine creation, like we're all divine creations here on this earth and deserve respect, being part of our beautiful ecosystem. They're also important in the ecosystem. They eat a slew of mosquitoes, but they also are important for pollination. I think bats are so cool. I mean, they're the only flying mammal, so come on. And their fingers are elongated, and that's what their wings are. And they have this leathery kind of tissue in between their fingers, but they're little mammals flying around. So, I mean, that's pretty amazing. And they also use a form of sonar or echolocation where they emit some sound waves above our human capacity to hear, above the frequency that the human ear can hear. And they use that. It echoes back to them, and then they can hear this pitch that they make, and it helps them to perceive when other bats are near them. You know, when they're flying around in the dark, they can perceive if there's prey ahead of them, like a little bug they want to eat, or where the walls to the cave are, or another bat, so they don't run into their brother or sister bat. And unlike the phrase blind as a bat might insinuate, bats are not blind. They usually have pretty well developed eyes, in my understanding, and can see if it is light, but they are nocturnal, so they fly a lot in the dark, in, you know, out in the open sky or out in caves. And so they need to have some sort of perception which helps them to see in the dark, if you will. And so that is why I was nodding my head when bats flew in to my meditation as I was asking who the spirit helper is for this week, because it makes so much sense for intuition. Bats have this extra ability that we don't possess to be able to perceive things. Actually, I take that back. I have heard of visually impaired people being able to use echolocation by making noises and then developing the ability to perceive the difference in pitch as they're moving, in order to understand if they're getting close to something. And I've heard of this, and I've seen a few things about this. It's absolutely amazing. So humans can actually develop that ability, if they develop that subtle sense of understanding the differences in pitch and how to use that to locate things. So, but bats are a great totem. They're a great spirit animal for understanding expanded awareness and intuition. In medieval times, they thought little bats were little dragons, because they look a little bit like dragons, and they're associated with Dracula and the supernatural, and back in the old times, they're associated with the devil. But in indigenous cultures, they're associated with initiation, with magic, with transformation. And they are very sacred spirit animal in so many traditions. And if we can look at some of the scariness that the bat brings up for us with the darkness, and they carry rabies, and we can look at that as a metaphor for facing our fears, we really tap into bat medicine. They're associated with clairaudience because of their sonar, because of their echolocation. They use their ears to perceive the differences in the sounds that they're emitting in order to perceive what's in front of them and around them. So this is related to clairaudience, or clear hearing, psychic hearing. So bat can actually help you develop your ability to hear more. And bat is also associated with developing more of a relationship with the spirit world in general. And it's also associated with new perspectives. They hang upside down when they're sleeping. And it reminds a lot of people of the hangman. I know Ted Andrews talks about, it reminds him of the hangman in the tarot. And, the hangman in the tarot is all about shifting perspective, seeing things from a completely different perspective, and opening to a whole new world, letting go of the old view and letting go of what you need to let go of in order to enter this new realm of awareness. And we are having a full moon eclipse in Scorpio this weekend on Sunday, and it is the perfect bat moon energy with the eclipse. Initiation, transformation, is being initiated into a new level of consciousness, facing our fears. So Scorpio. And they're also associated with caves, so portals to other realms, portals to the spirit world, the astral world. Here is the message from the bat spirit animal for the week ahead and for today's show, helping us to work with this week's energy and open our intuition. We are winged, but we are also an animal of the earth, an entity that belongs both to the sky and the earth. We are an entity that knows both planes and understands how to weave in the in-between spaces so that we may benefit from both the earthly resources and abundance, as well as the mystical sky and other realms. Weaving our way through the air in short spurts and swings, we are able to gather information about the environment and the resources available to us. We are masters at seeing what's before us, even in the dark. We can find our food and shelter by using the lesser known senses. We can obtain that which we want by relying on this navigation tool, which is available to us. It is available to you too. Use your ability to see the unseen and traverse realms with which you may be unfamiliar. Be confident in your success as you rely on your senses beyond the obvious. You have connections to the other world and planes beyond this one, and it is natural to use your intuition and heightened awareness to perceive not only the obstacles in order to avoid them on this plane, but also the resources to which your intuition will guide you. The other realms are constantly joining you and surrounding you in your day-to-day matters. By joining with the spirit world in your consciousness, you allow the natural flow of ancestors and spirit guides who want to help you shine through into your waking life. Do this by aligning yourself with the part of you that can see in the dark. This awareness that we all possess is extrasensory perception. It is the divine intuition to which we all have access. Allow your mind to open and allow new insights that come with aligning with yourself from this consciousness. Allow new thoughts and ideas to occur by creating a space for them in your mind. As you open yourself to new ideas and different perspectives, as we joyfully view the world from the upside down, so too, as you align yourself with an attitude of openness, you naturally connect with your intuition. You naturally open the portal to this expanded awareness within you when you call upon it with your intention and then put yourself in the receptive state of mind. The caves in which we often dwell hold the portal energy and the in-between spaces between the worlds. Use the portal energy of your heart and mind as you keep one foot on this earthly plane, your waking consciousness, and one foot in the realm of the unseen and the realm of your soul. In other words, allow your mind to drift to an imaginary realm as you hold your intention to expand your consciousness. Allow your heart to speak its truth. The wisdom from your heart, which is a portal to your intuition, can then flow into your mind and inform it of new, brighter ideas. You may also strengthen your intuition simply by being present within this world. Use your natural intuition by aligning with the flow of energy and consciousness that are streaming through your heart and mind, which may not make sense at first. Allow the new ideas and information to enter your field of perception. Honor the wisdom, even if you do not understand it. If you can flip yourself upside down and see things from a completely different view, you may find that these brainstormed or heart-stormed ideas actually make sense. They may help you find your food, your resources, avoid the pitfalls before you, and guide you to a brighter future and the treasure chest at the end of the rainbow. Thank you, Bat Spirit Animal, for that amazing message. It makes me want to ask you, are you flipping yourself upside down? Are you brave enough to flip yourself upside down and see things from a completely different point of view? Are you facing your fears? The bat guides us, supports us to face our fears. And once we face our fears, once we let go of old, outdated parts of our personality, once we face our fears and move forward, even when we're scared, to be afraid and take that leap anyway, when we let go of those old belief systems and behavior patterns and perspectives and paradigms, we truly open ourselves to a new life, to transformation, to moving through that portal to that new world of expanded joy and magic and consciousness and awareness and oneness. And that's what Bat is inviting us to do. That's what the Scorpio full moon eclipse is inviting us to do. We must pass these tests of facing and overcoming our fears and open ourselves to that willingness to shift our mindset to that receptive state, to see things from that different perspective. And that opens that portal to that still small voice. It's so much easier to hear when we're open, isn't it? I am tuning into the energy of the week ahead, and this is for the week of May 13th through the 19th. Whatever you're hearing, this is the right perfect time. Pulling some cards here, oracle cards and sacred geometry cards and starseed oracle cards. You know, when I tune into the energy for this upcoming week, I get this vision of waves crashing on a rocky shore. It might be a little bit rocky, and I get the feeling of a little bit intense energy or a lot intense energy, but that lighthouse is there. If we can tap into our intuition and that divine consciousness guiding us safely to shore, we can have a beautiful spiritual experience. It's so funny. I pulled Portal. You can't make this stuff up. I pulled the beautiful Starseed Oracle cards of Portal and Breath of the Cosmos. So Portal for this upcoming week, doors are opening. You decide, rewards. So, and it's a picture of someone at the mouth of a portal. So we've got a portal weekend. I'm feeling intuitively like we have a gate open to explore different parts of our psyche, explore different parts of consciousness. And I feel like this weekend, it's a great time to do some inner work. It's also a good time to connect with others. And it feels like people might be more receptive to connecting in a mystical way this weekend, the 13th, 14th, 15th. And, you know, use that full moon Scorpio energy that's happening on Sunday. And you can even begin to feel that energy now to let go of some of that lower energy. What are those skeletons in your closet? It might be a competitiveness or a fear or an old outdated belief. It might be a part of you that you've outgrown. And it might even be some intergenerational gunk, some intergenerational family karma that you're coming to terms with and letting go and doing your part to heal and release. So I'm feeling like the energy of this week is very intense and can bring things up. You know, it's important not to take everything too seriously when people get so intense with all this Scorpio energy. And so as the week continues, I feel like there's going to be an expanded energy here on the earth. It's a great time to do healing. It's a great time to meditate or astral project, work with crystals, go to a church service or a shamanic journey group or a dream circle or go on a shamanic journey yourself. Do something, mystical and connecting with the deeper side this weekend. It's a great time to do that. Use that full moon energy. It's a great time to do healing. It's a great time to connect with others intimately. This is a really intense weekend for sexual energy and love energy too. Deep connection. That beautiful full moon eclipse transformation energy helps us to do some deep healing and transforming, opening. I feel like this week, also moving forward to more of the weekday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, I feel like there's a lot of ideas that are being disseminated on the earth. There's a lot of new ideas, and there might be an overwhelming amount of different ideas sort of being scattered about, you might be aware of. So this week, it can be a really good thing. You don't have to buy into all the ideas, but you can, if you can pay attention to, like the hangman guides us, like bat spirit animal guides us, be open to new perspectives and program your intuition to guide you to the new ideas that are truly helpful. It can be a really inspiring time for this week, but I feel like the general energy for the week is people might be driven, people might be kind of loosening up mentally. It's, we're still in Mercury retrograde and wanting to make decisions, but doing some assessment before making those decisions. I feel like there's just a lot of chaotic mental energy. There's a lot of new mental energy. There's it feels like a pretty strong work energy during the week. And so it's so to work with this energy, it's a good time to stay grounded and focus on what you want to focus on, but be open to maybe receiving some new ideas and learning maybe a new perspective on something. And be sure to take extra care of yourself this week. I feel like, the energy can get intense. So make sure you're doing things to not get lost in other people's stuff or overcare for someone, and take care of yourself. And it's important to I think also, pay attention to our self-esteem this week, during the week. And as we can mother ourselves, it helps to increase our own self-esteem. But it is a good time for expanding our ideas and getting some new ideas without making big decisions. And as the week wraps up, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, I feel like there's a nice abundance, life energy that I'm feeling collectively, and you might feel the results of your labors. You might feel more nurtured towards the end of the week. And it's a good time to remember to relax towards the end of the week. I'm feeling like it's important to slow that energy down. I pulled the Queen of Cups. So she's reminding us to remember to nurture ourselves, remember to nurture our relationships, and the flower of life, sacred geometry, is coming out here. And I feel like that's re-emphasizing that nurturing and the abundant life energy that's flowing. So to remember to relax and have some fun, to be your own mother, and process maybe some of the things that have happened during the week. It's a good time to look back and see what you've accomplished and see what ideas you have garnered from this intense week of the full moon eclipse. And you might do some writing, you might do some reflecting. So that is the general energy I have for the week ahead. Nurture yourself, pay attention to that inner voice and your own self-esteem. Open yourself to some new ideas, but also remember to ground yourself. Use that full moon eclipse energy to transform and to grow and move through that portal into the new world. I want to thank you so much again for tuning in. This has been Ann Vivian on Integrative Mystic. Don't forget to check out my website, creativepsychestudio.com. Psyche is spelled Psyche, creativepsychestudio.com. That's also my YouTube channel, Creative Psyche Studio. And on my website and Facebook page, which is also Creative Psyche Studio, you can find more information about my upcoming groups, including the Dream Circle and Manifesting group at the Red Barn this May 28th. And other groups and sessions that I offer. Thank you so much again for tuning in. It has been an absolute delight and honor, and I look forward to connecting with you at a future show or happening. Blessings, my friends.